Indeed, I'm very pleased on a personal note to be here with you because I think it is about 15 years that I made a formal departure from Kenyatta University where I was teaching. And today I have reconnected with very many of my seniors. And I always remember that those seniors gave me an opportunity as a budding researcher who had an idea or two to do things. And so on a personal note, it is a very happy moment for me to reconnect formally again with the university sector. And as you have been told, I am here representing the Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, who is away on official duty. And I therefore have the very simple task to read his message for you today. Ambassador Simon Nabukwesi, Principal Secretary for the State Department of University Education and Research. Dr. Raval, who I've been told, I heard is not here today, the Chancellor of Egerton University and an industrialist. Professor Fatuma Chege, Principal Secretary for the State Department of Curriculum Implementation Reforms. Members of the High-Level Advisory Committee, I think led by the chair who is chairing this session this morning. Vice Chancellors of Universities, Professor Walter Oyawa, Director General NACOSTI, Directors of various state departments. This is the problem of using your phone to read the speech of your boss and somebody calls, so forgive me. I do not know. You know, if this technology, this meeting went on without a hitch, it would be problematic. So I have just to download the message again, which is coming. My apologies for that. Directors of various state corporations, CEOs present, members of the press, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy, that is Professor Magoha, to be with you officially to open this important conference whose theme is STI governance and mainstreaming infusion in national development agenda in a disrupted world. But first, I take this opportunity to congratulate NACOSTI for organizing this very important conference that is multi-sectoral and has brought together all the key players in the STI sector. The conference takes place at a time the world is fighting the biggest global challenge facing humankind today, COVID-19. We know it has disrupted our world order in ways we had not imagined before. Ladies and gentlemen, I am informed that this first multi-sectoral conference aims to bring together leading industrialists, champions of the industry, STI institutions, private sector innovators, professionals, and researchers to exchange and share experiences. It also aims at assessing the STI achievements and developments, research and development results, and networks on all aspects of science, technology, and innovation. Further, the conference will also provide a premier multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and intradisciplinary platform for professionals, practitioners, inventors, innovators, entrepreneurs, scholars, researchers, educators to present and discuss the most recent innovations, scientific and technological advancements, and STI trends in a world disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. I note with appreciation the wide range of stakeholders, including very eminent scholars who have joined this conference both physically here and online, and I am optimistic that the set objectives will be achieved. I want to challenge the participants to take advantage of this conference to create networks and strengthen collaborations and partnerships amongst institutions in the STI ecosystem. The conference therefore presents a unique forum for stakeholders to engage in in-depth discussion on the current status of science, technology, and innovation in the country, and how that can be infused in the country's development agenda for inclusive and sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, the global experience shows that countries that have leveraged on the production, management, and application of knowledge have achieved sustained economic growth rates with significant improvements in the quality of life. Examples of these countries include Brazil, China, Singapore, Malaysia, and South Korea. These countries have industrialized and achieved middle income status, and some within a generation, defying traditional economic development models. Moving forward, the Ministry of Education will prioritize the adoption of an appropriate science, technology, and innovation policy that will unlock the production, distribution, and use of knowledge and information. In this regard, I would like to thank all the stakeholders that have been involved in the development of the science, technology, and innovation policy. This draft policy, which has been developed through a wide stakeholder participation, will soon be shared with my cabinet colleagues. That's Professor talking. Based on the global experience, there are significant efforts to close the 3 missing links, which are key to leveraging science, technology, and innovation for national development. These include the need to establish a culture that respects knowledge and embeds this in the various education curricula, the need to focus on active knowledge creation and acquisition, and a deliberate and conscious effort to link knowledge creation to actual opportunities aimed at enhancing productivity and creating employment opportunities in existing and in new sectors. I therefore find the theme of this conference appropriate in addressing the aforementioned links. I am glad to note that the Public Service Performance Management and Monitoring Unit has introduced in the 18th cycle of performance contracting a target on STI mainstreaming. In adopting this indicator, it was acknowledged that the investments in science, technology, and innovation is indispensable in the country's socio-economic development. I would like to reiterate that the ministry, through the National Commission for Science, Technology, and Innovation, will keenly monitor the implementation of this target in all relevant agencies. We would like to use the results for these performance contracting reports to strengthen the STI ecosystem in the country. I therefore urge the organizers of this conference to guide the stakeholders on the reporting for effective implementation of the performance contract. In other words, there is an opportunity, it needs follow-up. It looks like it is this group that will need to offer that particular follow-up. Ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe that the solution to the war against COVID-19 is research, science, technology, and innovation. Indeed, it has been said that advances in STI remain the game-changing factor to mitigate against widespread effects of global disaster. During the pandemic, it has been observed that countries that leveraged on emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, 3D printing, big data, genetic engineering, quantum computing, and robotics have been more successful in limiting the number of fatalities while managing to keep most of their economies and societies operational. And we are not, at least we are somewhere there, and just for the information of this gathering, you may know that in science and technology for our grade 4 and 5 children, robotics is already included. So it is a matter of actually taking advantage of the designs because the opportunity is there. And the competencies that the children are supposed to have, such as creativity and information and curiosity, are already the natural ingredients to allow us to be part of these countries of success that we are talking about. It is in view of this that a national STI policy coordination by NACOSTI is critical for ensuring effectiveness of these initiatives. Further, I want to challenge NACOSTI, Professor seated here behind, the universities, the research institutions to closely work together for synergy and to come up with strategic options for addressing COVID-19 pandemic. I have no doubt that Kenya has the best brains that could offer the nation and the global community hope during these difficult times. Ladies and gentlemen, from the current global trends, COVID-19 pandemic is not likely to be going away very soon. We must therefore find ways of coping and find lasting solutions. And the proposed STI response strategy development by NACOSTI will go a long way in complementing the one under the basic education. The implementation of this strategy will obviously require additional resources. Given the cross-cutting nature and importance of STI, we must work in harmony to ensure that the scarce financial resources are put into best use. I would like to appeal to the private sector to support in this endeavor. Given the significant role STI plays in the national economy, I am going to undertake wide consultations with my colleagues in the cabinet to see how the role of STI can be elevated and requisite funding increased for the key agencies in the STI ecosystem, that is NACOSTI as the regulator, NFR for resource mobilization and for research, and Kenya for technology development and commercialization. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to assure you that of the government of Kenya's support to the STI sector. We are therefore looking forward to receiving the recommendations arising from this conference for action, and also call upon NACOSTI to institutionalize such a forum annually to enable the sector to work in synergy in addressing important matters of national development as well as emerging challenges to the country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my humble pleasure to officially declare this conference open. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. And that is the speech and the words from Professor Magoha, the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Education. Thank you.